Well, it's a cold early morning start here in Cape Town. We've got some wonderful Pride Cup action to keep us warm. The final day of the Pride Cup. So by the end of proceedings today, we'll know who our Pride Cup champions are for 2023. My name is Sun Phoenix, and I'm joined by Defect. Defect, how's it going?
Good morning. It is cold, but
Mm.
like you said, today we get to find out who has the most pride.
Who is the most prideful?
Exactly.
In a good way. In a good way.
The best way.
So
What are we looking at today?
it is going to be G.O.A.T.S taking on Benoni Buccaneers. If you've been keeping up with the Pride Cup action throughout this weekend and last, you will be well aware of who these two teams are. Now, Defect, yesterday you and I had the pleasure of covering G.O.A.T.S, so let's take a quick look at their squad here. So the G.O.A.T squad is Nyan, Jace is going to be in, Trizzle, Kyo, and Yami maybe. Now, obviously, Defect, as I said, we had the pleasure of watching this team play yesterday. They did cop a 3-1 loss to, who was it now? The name is escaping me. The team they played, 3 men, 2 socks, that's who it was. But it was a very close game, and I think the standout performers on this team, as we expected them to be, were Trizzle and Nyan.
Oh, absolutely. Trizzle really role swapping onto the tank quite well. I think I'll rehash what we said yesterday of he has just such a good understanding of the game, being a DPS main mainly. But it translates super well onto the Junker Queen, onto heroes like that, where he can... we saw a bit of Sigma coming from him as well. Very interesting. But yeah, no, very solid frontline and went toe-to-toe with a very high-level tank and wasn't slouch at all. On the other side of the spectrum, we have Nyan, who was just the tracer of the enemy team. Always had a pulse bomb, always stuck to people somehow, and was just the backline assassin that I wish I had in my ranked games.
Yeah, well, on your team, of course.
On my team, at least, yeah. No, very stand-up performances, and then we had the solid backline of Kyo and Yami, maybe, who were just there to behind the protective shield of Trizzle, keeping them all alive and making things happen.
Well, less protective shield and more perhaps protective presence, right? Because he tends to protect by being aggressive and making space.
By throwing a knife and pressing shift.
Oh, yeah. Just running in and pew-pewing with his pulse cannon or whatever Arissa's gun is called. But we'll take a look at their opponents here. We didn't get to see them yesterday, but we have seen them throughout the course of these last 2 weekends, and it is going to be the Benoni Buccaneers. It's going to be BTS Fan, aka Babs, on the DPS alongside Smiley, Paleo on the main tank, and then Nemesis and Apricornicus. A lot of familiar names here, a lot of familiar faces.
Yeah, Apricornicus being one of the best supports in the country, playing for the top-rated team as a support, and just being overall really good at it. Highlighting Smiley and BTS Fan as 2 like mid-masters DPS players. Smiley also role swapping in from support to DPS. Strange enough, being a Mercy Lucio Brig player, just has a killer soldier, much better than we could have given her credit for beforehand, and it's just clicking heads all across the map. So a force to be reckoned with on the side of the Benoni Buccaneers. And BTS Fan, that pocket Genji, I'm sure we'll see it. I would be very disappointed if we didn't. Of course. And then Paleo, old hat in COWZA. We've seen him around for many, many years, and is quite well known for being a solid frontline tank.
We will expect to see Paleo on the Reinhardt mostly, and the Winston. He tends to kind of just lean on his Overwatch 1 hero pool in the main tank role. So we actually, when I was watching it with, who was it? It was Dreamer last weekend, and we kind of pointed out Paleo as being a linchpin for this team. When he's on the Rhine, they seem to struggle. When he was on the Winston, they seem to excel a lot more. So that's something I'm going to be looking at here in this game today. And that's not a reflection necessarily of Paleo and his skill, but perhaps more of how the team works around those heroes. So I'll be interested to see if that continues to be the case here. Our first map will be Busan. It is Control, will be Busan. So what are you thinking here? Based on these 2 teams' Defect, do you see anything here that makes you think either of these 2 teams has an advantage over the other?
I feel like this is going to be an interesting matchup. Like, all respect to Paleo, he is a solid tank. I feel like there might be a bit of a gap before you reach the likes of Trizzle. I think Trizzle has demonstrated that he is a very strong tank player, and the frontline battle might be a bit slanted towards the G.O.A.T.S team. That said, I know Nyan is very good in high ranked, but I think Nyan plus Jace doesn't stack up as well as BTS Fan and Smiley. I think there might be a slight advantage in the DPS department. And then, of course, Apricornicus being just a juggernaut of a support player. I feel like that might shut down a lot of Nyan's dive attempts. Like, if you're diving an Anna that doesn't miss her shots, it's hard to execute the kill.
Yeah. And we saw Apricornicus on that Baptiste actually on, what was it, Esperanza, where he absolutely cleaned up a team fight. So he has the potential to really amplify the damage, both literally and figuratively, coming from the backline. So that should be interesting to see.
Yeah, a wonderful game ahead, because if there is someone who can put pressure on Apricornicus, it's going to be Nyan.
Yeah.
So, excited to see how that resolves during this lovely 5 games ahead of us.
Yeah, it is a best of 5, as we say. And just as a reminder, guys, it is the Pride Cup. And if you don't know what that means, it means Pug-style tournament. That means you sign up with just yourself, or you and a mate, and then you get placed into teams by COWZA based on your skill rating. And so we expect the teams to be evenly rated in terms of average SR, but that comes with a whole bunch of caveats. We know SR is not a perfect reflection of a player's skill on a particular role, and also you might have great players with less good players, or you might have a more balanced squad. So, looking at the composition to effect, what stands out to you?
Genji alert.
Genji alert.
Genji has left the spawn room.
And also Paleo on the Monkey as well. In fact, both. No, Drizzle's on the D.Va.
Yes. D.Va, typically like one of the counters to Monkey, deals a lot of damage to the front line, and as we see that the D.Va Nan focuses down the tank early in the fight.
Yeah, this is a 2023 on Diablo's womb. Don't you feel like defect? Trizzle and Nyan hooking up on Tracer, D.Va, Tracer Monkey, whatever.
Absolutely, yeah. They have that same kind of synergy vibe as well.
Chase, we'll find that opening pick onto Annabelle. We didn't mention it, but Annabelle is in here for who is he in for? It doesn't matter right now. We'll come back to that. For Nemesis, I believe, which puts Apricornicus on the loose here, which is a bit unfortunate, as so far G.O.A.T.S have totally dominated proceedings. They got that opening kill on Paleo's Winston to start it off, and they never looked back from there.
Yeah, I think they've been managing to keep the Benoni Buccaneers off balance by just getting the tank pick, and then as soon as the tank returned, they got a pick on Annabelle.
Yeah. We'll come in here though, looking for an opportunity here, struggling a bit to find it. The Buccaneers here, BTS Fan kind of flanking around, looking for shots. Trizzle just tanking up on the front line, controlling this high ground very effectively, which is always so key on this map of Busan. But they're finding picks now. Smiley finds one, BTS Fan finds Nyan, so that is going to be nice for his mental, winning that duel. Paleo will lose his mech. Paleo struggling to find the hero he wants to stick on, but his team will push through the point here and grab all the kills they need to. It's just Trizzle left on the point. He'll get cleaned up nicely. And finally, with 60% on the clock, Benoni Buccaneers will strike.
Yeah, and the BTS Fan wrapping up that fight by losing to Nyan. Very efficient. But we're seeing a lot of ults on the side of G.O.A.T.S. 4.5 opener.
You got it stuck on the high ground there. Had he got it over the edge, he might have been able to pick up a couple of kills. And Trizzle likes to use the self-destruct like that. Chuck it over the edge at the beginning. Or literal same frame duplicates coming out from the echoes here. So operating under the same proviso as they now look to find picks. But Smiley will get the worst of that. Pulse Bomb goes in, finds the echo in the mech, but won't be able to follow up too much. Trizzle under pressure on the front line, but the Valk healing coming through, providing plenty of power for the blue squad. Self-destruct, this looks good, should find one, does. Jace goes down. Trizzle taking a lot of damage there as well, and somehow, someway, with the help of a whole lot of ultimates here, defect, Benoni Buccaneers will push through this team fight.
Yeah, a lot of divas there on the point at one point.
Oh my god.
The diva count 4. And a lot of ults used as well. I think the only one left is this Kiriko ult, looking to come into the next fight.
Especially with Paleo gobbling up the pulse bomb from Nyan. We've seen how effective that can be. So that could end up being critical.
He's been very impressive on the diva, which, as we mentioned, as I say that, I cast. I'm sorry, Paleo. I owe you an apology.
Kitsune Rush contributing to that. The damage amp just too much, too hot to handle for Paleo's Divas. Benoni Buccaneers capitulating in a big way. But they've got plenty of time to come into another team fight here. They will have the Pulse Bomb ready to go, and they'll probably have the Duplicate as well. So, provided they don't lose too many to the self-destruct, they've got enough tools here to try and bring this one back.
Yes, and they've hit that magic 85, which means that if they do manage to cap the point, there might not be a recon.
Oh, that looks huge. It is huge. Both supports in the bird, and the mech goes down as well. It's just a matter of cleanup. BGS fan commits the Pulse Bomb. That doesn't feel like a good one, although it's a good time pick. So they might be able to get in before the Mercy does.
Yeah. If no one goes to fetch the Mercy, which it doesn't seem to be happening, then they might be able to have a fight without her.
Smiley goes onto Diva. Somebody needs to touch point here. Oh, there is somebody on point. Very nice play from Babs. Heads up stuff. The Duplicate, though, out from the Echo. Just putting the pressure on will get demeked pretty much straight away. So far, the Duplicates have been finding a ton of value as the ball comes out as well. A nice Pulse Bomb from Nyan. Finds one. Self-destruct on the high ground. Won't find any pay dirt here. But the fight is pretty even. As I say that, there were flurry of kills for both teams. A chaotic team fight. The Valkyrie, though, might be making the difference in the sky here. But Smiley gets the trade onto Jace here. Her Echo has been dominant in the sky so far, but Nyan is still on the ground, absolutely asserting himself, so this could be a tough team fight to win. The numbers definitely favoring our blue squad here. G.O.A.T.S by the kill off the kill. Apricornicus goes down, but reinforcements are here. Babs, he's zoning in onto this Mercy here. That's the pick he wants. That's the pick he's looking to get. But Trizzle on the money. The peel is too good, and he'll keep his team in this one. G.O.A.T.S go one up in Busan.
Oh, what a lovely chaotic fight. Just I had to zoom out all the way to keep track of all the players and what they're doing. But wonderful back and forth there. I feel these Diva copies have been quite questionable. With the nerf on the tank passive copy, I don't even know how it works. They just have so little HP. They get demeked very quickly. Even spawning in with a full Matrix, they don't last long enough to get their Diva ult up.
Yeah, but they're DPS players. They don't know how to use the Matrix.
Yeah,
right? You just left click and micro missiles and zone in on the ulti.
True. Smiley is a support player though, and she's also
fair.
I'm sure she's been Matrix while racing in the past.
Yeah, absolutely.
Poor memory.
So we do have different compositions here, very different. It's now much more of a brawly style. Paleo back on his Reinhardt, his favorite hero, and they're going to find an opening pick onto Trizzle, the best pick you could possibly get. No res will be forthcoming here. They've got Keo on the Zen. A great wall though cuts Paleo off, and that is even things up, and now they're getting kills, though the res will come through onto Paleo though, so the Mercy making the difference here. Point has unlocked another great wall from Nyan. We've seen how good his Tracer is. We haven't had the pleasure of seeing his Mei, and so far so good. Ryan not having a good time here. Point has unlocked, but Drizzle's back. Fists out, looking to get his punch on. Won't be able to find any kills though. The wall not quite on the money there, as the Point will get capped up here by Babs. We mentioned his Genji, but his other Shimada bro is probably his second most favorite hero, as G.O.A.T.S struggling to find purchase here. Nyan will go down. Trizzle pretty much solo on the point here, outside of his two healers backing him up, and he's not dying, he's not going down. Put him down. Smiley gets out of position, and Trizzle manning up here and winning the team fight for his squad, but with Trizzle going down, they move aggressive. The res comes out, and finally Benoni Buccaneers will get control of proceedings.
Eventually, and I'm really liking this Reinhardt pick. It's been functioning really well to repel the aggression coming out of the Ramatra. Whenever that form comes up, like, you have to brawl with a Reinhardt, and while you might not die of all that extra HP, the Reinhardt won't die either.
Yeah.
And
both of you are comfortable kind of just manning up against each
other. Yeah. And that said, during the poke phase, the DPS matchup doesn't line up very well. So if you can keep the Reinhardt alive, which they've been mostly doing, like, I know there was a cheeky race there, you are favored to eventually just poke them out. Big Dragon Strike. Big
Dragon Strike. Ice Block has to protect Nyan there. Trizzle nanoed up though, and Annihilation going. He's going to get a lot of kills here. In fact, G.O.A.T.S, despite a bad start with the Dragon Strike taking out one, the ultimate return is so good, and Trizzle, with the help of the Nano Boost from Yami maybe, is just going to be able to clean house here. Nyan contributing as well. A punch to Annabelle to seal the deal, and Benoni Buccaneers sent back to spawn.
Amazing. I actually don't know what you're supposed to do against a Nano Ram ult.
I think you just die. I think that's...
I think you gotta go to the point and die,
Yeah.
stalling it as long as possible. But I've never seen a fight win against it.
Does feel pretty strong, and to be honest, even just a naked annihilation feels pretty overpowered sometimes.
It's already impressive.
Shadow comes in, Jace immediately put on his back and gets taken down. They'll find another kill though with the charge. Paleo putting on his work shoes here, but Nyan is contributing on the other side. The Blizzard helps him pick off 2 here, both DPS out of the team fight now, as it's just Paleo on point with Apricornicus. We've seen how good Apricornicus could be, but Kyo on top of him on this occasion. Now Paleo rather, last man standing on point. He'll go down, and G.O.A.T.S in control with 35% on the clock.
Yeah, that was just a big batch of high impact ults there in that fight, especially the Nyan ult, which, by the way, Nyan's May has been pretty good. Some of those walls, a little questionable, but then the other half of them were really solid. So if you have a 50% wall hit rate, I mean, wonderful.
Wall's not one of those spells as well where if you throw a bad one, you're like, oh, that's team fight over, we lose. You know, it's not like a feast and famine in the same way. Wouldn't make a white bee, but here it comes. Trizzle moving forward, annihilation pop. Jace has dropped, but it shouldn't matter here with the big bad ram charging through the enemy squad here. Paleo tried to do his best charging through the enemy squad, did get taken down, but I mean, Rubacha just untouchable. Trizzle untouchable on the front line and pushing his team towards a mecha-based victory.
Yeah, those annihilation and just punching the whole team silly is just, there's no way to stop it. Or if there is, the Benoni Buccaneers have not found it.
Yeah. Oh, Paleo, he's gone underground here on the point. He's totally isolated here. The team not on the same page. It feels like the Dragon Strike goes through. That'll make space. Trizzle all up in BTS fans' grill. Takes down Anna. Chase will take down Paleo. And a soft end to this one is G.O.A.T.S dominate on Mecha Base, it felt like, at least towards the end there.
Absolutely. The Trizzle tank was just so much to deal with. And every other fight coming out with that extremely hard to deal with ult. It's just, like we said, it was too much to overcome for the Benoni Buccaneers. Oh, this ult. Just too much. Too hard to handle. Between Trizzle and Yan on the front line. Yami maybe as well, Niana really buffing up Trizzle as well. We saw on that first attack where they ended up losing G.O.A.T.S, the 2 supports just keeping Trizzle alive on the point for so long. And that's kind of the power of the Ramatra and good support. So G.O.A.T.S taking it there with a 2-0 on Busan, but only Buccaneers absolutely not getting dominated, in my opinion. I think they were really, especially on the first map, they really felt like they could have taken that. Yeah, and especially impressed with Jace, who I'm not super familiar with, that's why I haven't been singing his praises before the match. But he's been really carrying his weight and squaring up well against 2 Masters DPS. Definitely not a weak spot. You can take that
credit as well, it has to be said, to BTS fan, right? He's kind of matched up against Nyan pretty favorably, which is not what I would have expected. Not anything to say about BTS fan. It just seems like Nyan is on that sort of unstoppable level where you favor him in every matchup.
Don't tell Babs that in person. Mute the VOD.
Right, so it will be Eichenwalde up next, which shocks me to my core because I'm pretty sure Kings Row is in the pool here, and it is. And in fact, it reminds me that yesterday we saw Hollywood as well. So I don't know what Kings Row has done recently, but it seems like these players are favoring something a little different.
I mean, variety is the spice of life, I guess. But I'm going to be disappointed not to have old, reliable Kings Row in my cast rotation this weekend.
Yeah, it something is empty. There's something missing.
Exactly. I'm hoping to see some brawl here on point 1 from Paleo. Like, I think the Rhine here can function quite well. Especially if we see another Lucio coming from Apricornicus. So you can get them in over this little bit of that bit of open ground through the choke on the front. And then maybe you can brawl into Trizzle's Ramatra?
Nope. It seems like, at the very least on defense, it's going to be something a little bit more dynamic. They've got Kyo on the Kiriko and Yami maybe on the Mercy. Jace on the Sim is very interesting, and Yan, of course, on the Tracer. But the Diva, the kind of focal point around this composition at the moment. Very interesting to see. And Paleo looks like he wants to come out on the Orisa. How does Diva and Orisa match up? It feels like a wash, but I'm not sure.
Can you Matrix the Spear? I don't think you can Matrix the Spear.
I think you can. I stand on correction.
We have a bunch
The
of
3 people here
tankers in
don't
the
know.
chat.
That's
People in
true.
the
We're all
chat.
tanks. That's so funny.
Is one of us masters or something? You should know.
Yeah.
Well, look, we'll find out. I'm gonna spec the diva. You can't. There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Fixed. Figured out. Jace gets dropped there.
Solve the puzzle.
Is forced out. Kia will drop as well. The support's getting picked one after the other here a little bit for the GOAT squad. They're getting forced back very effectively here, but Paleo overextending just a tiny bit. Gets taken down. No res available. So that kill is permanent. BTS fan though strikes back. But Nyan in the back line really causing issues here, but they're finding kills on the front line. Both teams in fact finding kills, but at the end of it all, 2 men standing tall rather. Who else but Nyan and Trizzle?
Yeah, absolutely. The power couple of the GOATS team here. Is the Budget's room and auntie.
Budget's room and auntie.
Wish.com.
I agree, but it's like they probably won't agree.
I think they'll agree. I'll ask them after the match.
Yeah. To be fair, even being in the conversation in that kind of a comparison is saying a lot.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
It's a compliment.
Moving forward though, Paleo. He's trying to put the pressure on here on the front line. Meanwhile, in the back line, there's a Tracer in your back line. The Pulse Bomb comes through, but a great Matrix there will keep the team healthy, but Epicornix will pay with his life, but it does more than enough damage for Nyan to just wash over them alongside Jace. GOATS actually executing a very GOAT-style team fight, finding an opportunity and rolling over the enemy squad.
Yeah, absolutely, and I really like the off angle Jace took as well. They're sitting inside of the little house, and then on the other side of them is Nyan. I think that split attention can really cause a lot of damage coming from both flanks at the same time.
Slight compositional switch up here. Smiley now moves on to the Echo. This could be a big one. Not going to find anything with that. Smiley quick on the draw there. Gets into safety. But Trizzle chasing her down. Smiley isolated here. Having to run. Will get taken down. But they've traded out. Yami maybe on the front line. A good COWZA keeps the team healthy. The Symmetra ulti also pretty significant here, but they will throw out the Matrix here. Damage, Kitsune Rush, a lot of ultimates being committed into this team fight. Paleo gets aggressive on the front line, but they lost Annabelle in the back line. D-Mech comes through, but it's 2v3, 3v1, 3v0 potentially. No, Apri finds 1, but he will end up dropping. Smiley throws herself into the meat grinder there to get back to spawn faster.
Yeah, crushed like a bug, honestly. Sad to watch. But yeah, Jace being the MVP in that one, like really popping off at the end when there was just him and a couple of supports left to bring through those damage numbers. And also a bit questionable putting the Matrix window in front of the Sim Shield.
True, yeah.
It lost almost all of its effectivity, and it also kind of locked your team on the wrong side of the wall.
True. Oh, Paleo once again gets aggressive. Pulse Bomb! So 1, 2, 3, counted up. That's a highlight reel right there. He gets the 4th as well. Nyan absolutely dominating this Benoni Buccaneers squad.
Yeah, if you can't find the answer to the Pulse Bomb, it's going to be a rough find. And we're looking into a full ult here. Going in with one ult from the side of the GOATS. 2.5, 2 and almost 3. The side of the Buccaneers. Let's hope they can employ them successfully.
We'll have to wait and see here. Part of me wants the Buccaneers to push forward here and get some caps, because more Overwatch is better Overwatch, in my humble opinion. They're going to start with the Zen ultimate here. They're going to pop the other ultimate. I think this is going to be enormous. That's 2 kills? No kills. A great immortality field. Going to keep the team healthy. And Benoni Buccaneers at the death here will find the impetus to push forward. They get at least a 3rd with Kyo going down. That should be that. Overtime ticks over, but Benoni Buccaneers have found the point.
Yeah, and they entered this fight with 3 ults and exited with 3 ults. 3 different ults, somehow.
Very nice.
So a very healthy fight, if a bit late, from the Benoni Buccaneers there. Looking quite favored coming into this attacking push.
They are indeed. No changes on the defensive side here. The second point is very, very different to the first point in terms of what you'll need to do and how you need to execute. You're controlling the high ground more, so the Diva a good pick here. But Smiley may be able to find a lot of action here on the high ground. Going to move forward, going to pop the duplicate as well. Once again, onto Trizzle's Diva, but isolated up top there.
Dies.
They block the pulse bomb. It doesn't find the Echo. Instead, it finds Annabelle, who is just a passerby coming in to keep her team healthy. And she will drop as Paleo on point here, getting aggressive under a ton of pressure. They find Apricornicus, and that should be it. Nyan will even get BTS fan, who I think
Nyan
threw out an ultimate. No, he didn't. Nyan, once again, just absolutely dominating on the Tracer.
Yeah, that Roomba as well. As soon as there's he can open up a pick with the bombs, but if he doesn't, he will clean up the fight if there is one.
Yeah, that is very true. Either he'll throw the Roomba and get 3 kills, or he'll be the Roomba.
He'll be the Roomba, and it's a triples guaranteed if Nyan's on your team.
Exactly.
I would have loved to see Paleo swap to something else here. Something that's the high ground. I don't feel like you're forcing the enemy team down from there too much on this map. Apricornicus gets caught out? Yeah,
Smiley taken down as well. Paleo isolated all by himself on the point. It does feel like perhaps a Winston or a Diva, something along those lines, might be a bit better. But BTS fan, he's on the Pharah now, and we've seen how dominant the Pharah can be in South African Overwatch. But unfortunately, he's losing teammates at an alarming rate, and he's playing into a Diva who's already settled in. So it's going to be tough for BTS fan to find purchase on that Pharah, I think.
Yeah, and this is the last fight.
Oh my god,
how many ultimates? 5 ults, while 4 now. He just loves throwing them at nothing.
He just chucks them in, you know, just lobs like a grenade in and see what he gets.
Yeah.
Doesn't often find anything, but on the times he does, it makes it look very worth. And now they move forward here. Nyan wins the trade out against Smiley. Not that surprising, given the relative strengths of these two players on their heroes. But Nyan, I mean, what is happening? This man cleaning up so effectively, but the finding kills on the backline. This Symmetra teleporter, or rather, kill the Mercy! No, she gets the res off, and that might just seal the deal here. 4v2 on the point. Smiley is back in, though, contributing once again. The bulk ending for both teams here very soon, but they've settled on the point. But with Annabelle going down, it's going to be tough to Paleo to weather the storm, and he will not be able to do so. But players are coming back. Here's the Rocket Barrage, finds one, finds another with the pulse bomb. So very nice play from the DPS, but unfortunately the numbers do not favor the Benoni Buccaneers, and G.O.A.T.S will hold firm on second point.
Yeah, a very impressive showing from G.O.A.T.S there with the pulse bombs and the Diva matrixes. Yeah, no, absolutely almost dominant, but you know, they did get a point and they got some push. Yeah. This is theoretically defensible.
Yes. Actually more lit than just like hardcore theoretically, because you can get set up like G.O.A.T.S did on that high ground and hold quite effectively, but G.O.A.T.S are looking so strong, and it feels like you need, what do you need? 3 team fight wins if you're G.O.A.T.S here, right? And it feels like in 3 team fights, Nyan will pop off in 3 team fights over the course of 4 to 6 minutes, you know?
I think it's 2, hey? Look at where that payload is.
Yeah, true.
You need to take the first point, and then you need 1 fight win on the castle.
True. So yeah, I feel like Nyan popping off in 2 fights is a guarantee over the course of 4 to 6 minutes. So it's going to be a tough hold for sure. Paleo has heeded our call, and he will now be on the Monkey, which I think is a better pick, but it feels like a little bit of inflexibility on that first point didn't help the Benoni Buccaneers cause.
Yeah. I would like to draw attention to Apricornicus swapping to the Zen, which I'm hoping they'll put the... I mean, Zen, you put the Discord on the tank, right? So hopefully this is a hedge against the Diva. I know I have to be very comfortable on the Zen. Nice skin there as well, boy, with the golden octopuses. So hopefully this is an adjustment on how the supports play.
Hopefully it is, but they're going to be under pressure here because Paleo is playing very aggressively. Actually gets taken down. Trizzle tracks him down, but they will trade out Jace. BTS fan in the backline finds the Echo. There is a Mercy available, and she will move back now. Look for that res, and will find it, and BTS fan will get taken down as well. So a big swing of punching power in the team fight now. Smiley on point alone. Suzu committed here by Annabelle, but they're getting forced back. Big bad Monkey's back on the point here. The bubble popped down. He's just asserting himself here, but Trizzle, meanwhile, in his own backline, Apricornicus getting taken down. Paleo under pressure here, losing a lot of HP, very low HP. Suzu'd up. Annabelle dropping low. There's so much pressure on the backline. Paleo will drop. Yami maybe will on the other side as well, but it seems like the team fight absolutely favoring G.O.A.T.S. And when G.O.A.T.S is ahead, Nyan is ahead. He'll pick up kill after kill after kill and secure that first point. So now 5 minutes on the clock to get just a quarter or third of the way through the second phase.
Yeah, like we said, one team fight win, two if they want to try and fight before the door opens, but I think it's already too late for that. Thankfully they are taking control, seeing none sneaking onto the back already.
Oh,
There it
Pulse
is.
Bomb. Oh, Paleo drops so early. The Pulse Bomb securing that. Smiley will find Nyan though. This is going to be a kill. I think somebody will go down. Trizzle will just gun down Annabelle on the Kiriko there. Unfortunate for her, but the ultimate comes through from a couple of players here, including BTS Fan, including Smiley as well. But Nyan, he's not dead, and if he's not dead, he's getting kills, and he is getting kills. That might just be it here. Paleo's alive, but he's under pressure all by himself. How close is he to ulti? Nowhere near, in fact. So under pressure here, he's gonna have to back up, but he gets taken down. That might just be it, Defect.
Yeah, a very messy fight, and just losing Paleo early every time. It's just, you can't contend without a tank.
Smiley looking to get onto point here. Apricornicus, he's going to be the one. Valk popped immediately in response. So there are players on the point, but Paleo is not there and he's nowhere near being there. It's just 2 on point. They find Nyam, but it won't matter because the res will come through from Yami maybe. And that will be that here for Eichenwald. The GOATs looking unstoppable.
Yeah, that was a very dominant display from GO.A.T.S, especially in the tank department. You can really see... Hey, Tracer play again. Let's see that triple stick.
Plus the follow-up.
Boom.
Oh, it's not even the triple stick. It's the one and then the cleanup. That surprises me, but you really were spoiled for choice when it comes to picking player of the games from Nyan. So yeah, you look at the way Nyan looks in this game and he feels unstoppable, untouchable, but we know he's beatable. Right, we saw him yesterday get beaten, and what was So how did God, this team three men 2 socks, 2 men 3 men 2 socks. Yes,
the Sox.
How did the Sox team? How did they beat him? They kind of leaned on Tox a bit, between the May and the Torbjorn and some of the other heroes he was playing. They were able to shut down. It was more a team effort than a single player effort. So Nyan is beatable, Trizzle is beatable, G.O.A.T.S is beatable. They wouldn't be here in the lower bracket semifinals if they weren't. So Benoni Buccaneers just need to find their path to victory.
Absolutely, yes. And it feels like maybe they need to put a bit more resources in shutting down Trizzle, who has been on the front line. I feel like they had maybe on the right track with the Zen swap. I say that it's hard to play Zen, even if you're a GM plus Zen, into a Tracer like Nyan.
Yeah,
he's gonna come and bully you. So if there might have been enough peel or something, you just need to try and mitigate the impact of that front line just bowling over yours.
Yeah. And it didn't feel like that team fight ever really existed, right? With Paleo dropping right at the start, you're kind of scrambling from then all the way until they got that final cap on the golden box. So you didn't actually get to see Apricornicus' Zen come to the fore in any significant way. We will be heading here to Circuit Royale, though, Defect, which doesn't feel like it favors either team particularly. But there is a lot of room. Long sight lines, as we said before. There's a lot of room for Nyan to get something done, though. But we have seen him excel on the Ashe as well, so that might be something they lean on. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what we see here.
Yeah, we'll see what we see. I do feel like we might be seeing Trizzle's, or I'm hoping we'll see Trizzle's Junker Queen here. I think he favored it last time. And it is a nice, straight, thin map for a Junker Queen to sort of roll through and get a lot of X value from her E ability. That said, if Paleo's on Rhine, this is not a bad Rhine map either. Funneling people in, he could put on a lot of pressure. And the nooks and crannies are not as nooky and cranny as they used to be. I wait for it.
It's
for the Tracer.
Sorry, go for it.
Oh, no, you go.
It's worth noting that if Apricornicus does play the Zen, it puts Paleo under even more pressure, because his ability to overextend gets maximized by the fact that his healing is now a lot more limited. But that's kind of a moot point here. Instead, Apricornicus will go back to the Baptiste and we'll see Paleo on the Sigma. So I'm interested to see that. BTS Fan on the Widowmaker on attack. Probably will mix that in and then probably switch to Hanzo or something. On the other side, it's the big batter matchup from Trizzle again. Symmetra, Tracer again for the DPS, and then on a Zen for the support. So kind of an interesting. You can see one team is behind by the way they're doing wholesale changes to their composition.
Yeah, absolutely. A very pokey comp as well, the long
Yeah.
range comp coming out from the Benoni Buccaneers, which hopefully will match up quite well against this much more stable rush comp.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that tracer. Just
Ooh.
waiting.
Just waiting here. We've seen how good Symmetra tarts can be as well, Defect, you and I. So looking at some MVT tarts around the way here. Shots coming up. Halo dropping low, but it will be BTS Fan who finds that opening pick. No mercy in play for the blue squad. So that kill is permanent, but who cares, says Trizzle. I'm moving forward. I'm looking for kills, but he's under pressure, half HP, but he's holding down the fort here. In spite of that pick, it still feels like G.O.A.T.S are in control of the team fight. They're in control of the little Williams F1 car here. It moves about as fast on the point as well. Unfortunately for the attacking team here, Strizzle under pressure now, dropping low, very low, shield up. We'll keep him healthy here. Sigma looking forward. Rock says goes past him. It's a warning shot across the bow here. Strizzle still holding firm on the front line. There we go. MVP Tart finds Annabelle in the back line, so no res available. Healing now a lot more limited as well. And it feels like they're struggling to find the picks, find the follow-up, find the momentum here. And when that happens, G.O.A.T.S, in a long enough team fight, they will just find all the picks they need.
Yeah, the Benoni Buccaneers have built a team comp that wants to get a pick and then capitalize on it. And they executed step one. They got a pick quite early on, and then nothing happened. They kind of just stood around until the momentum shifted away from their favor.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what happens when you're playing against Nyan.
Pulse Bomb comes in, forces out the Immortality Field. Sides comes out from Smiley, but they immediately respond with COWZA and Ultimate. The Transcendence going to keep the team healthy. Valk popped as well. A lot of ults committed here for both teams, but at the end of it all, G.O.A.T.S still with plenty to work with here. They've got the Nano, they've got the Annihilation, so it's just a matter of time before the suffering starts here for the Benoni Buccaneers. But as I say that, they're finding kills. They took down Yami Maybe, so the Annihilation, no, that was not Annihilation, that was just Nemesis form here. Popped, but finally, Benoni Buccaneers find purchase in this team fight.
Yes. This is what we wanted to see. This is the game plan being executed, getting the picks and then being able to convert those exactly as they drew it up in the spawn room, probably. Seeing a double ult here, I'm always scared whenever I see those specific two ults. Out of G.O.A.T, here it comes.
It feels like a foregone conclusion. Gravitic Flux though, buying time. Very nice play. Sigma will keep the team healthy for a little bit, but Paleo will pay with his life, and the Trizzle still plenty of time on the Annihilation. He's just gonna move forward now, find pick after pick after pick, and the ults working out perfectly, even baiting out the Gravitic Flux if you want to look at it that way. So more value coming through, and a Pulse Bomb ready to win the next team fight as well.
Yeah, they're still trying to brew up a solution to the Nana Ram ult.
Yeah.
It's so brutal. Yeah, it's just a team reset, and hopefully they can execute their plan again, but at this point, being behind the corner, it's much more difficult to get picks. The sidelines aren't as straight.
True. The Symmetra tarts, of course, being very difficult to deal with. Nyan has worked his way into the back line now, looking for that Pulse Bomb. Ready to go, probably looking to bake out the Immortality Field. Will not, though. Smiley finds Drizzle. That's an absolutely massive pick, and now they can move forward, but you need to be careful. Nyan is still messing around in the back line. Anti-heal on the point, won't find anything of value, but this is exactly what Benoni Buccaneers needed to do. Weather the storm, use their pick lineup to find picks, and then follow up.
Yeah, absolutely. There was some clutch play from Smiley there, sitting on the high ground, not being able to put her off. Paleo
does find one here on the front line, but the team is back and they get the support in here onto a point, so they're able to find picks. A nice ulti from BTS Fan will find Jay. Sides popped as well. A lot of ults committed, but Trizzle is still on point, but Keo dropping should spell that. Trizzle going down, so a good team fight secure here for the Benoni Buccaneers will help them grab this first point.
Absolutely, and you know, a solid alt investment, but you know, on converting the point, adding that tie bank, all worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Coming up to the next fight, I feel like you take kind of a dry push here if you're on the side of Benoni Buccaneers. There's going to be a couple of, going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 ults online during the course of this fight on the other side. So I think tank the loss here and just use that newly found time bank.
Matrix is committed here, so dry fight, no
And it
thank you. And
works.
they find Trizzle, no res available, so that kill will last the test of time here as Benoni Buccaneers. I mean, it's not dry, but that's about as close to dry as you can get without actually using the ultimates.
I mean, they used 100% of the ult they had.
True, fair. It's all about perspective.
Nah, they
They're just
emptied
going to
the
get a
ult
clean
bank.
cap here on second point. They
They
might.
might.
So Metro pops ulti. No, Yan had it covered. Gets in onto point, and now it's Nano Annihilation or just Nano Nemesis mode for now.
Oh, a three
Pulse
pick.
bomb.
Oh my
Count
goodness.
them up. It's easy as pie. Once again, 2 supports and Smiley Nyan. A scalpel for this GOAT squad.
Oh, absolutely. That's just so impressive. Like, I don't know why. Pulling back the moment you lose your tank on that previous fight, and then like recommitting with a bunch of ult to the next fight is some good. I don't know who's shot calling, but that's some good understanding of the game.
You presume it's Trizzle on the front line, right?
Yeah. Just yelling at everyone to go away because I died.
Yeah, get out, back.
Yeah.
Not winnable. Now they will move forward. This fight
big.
looking not winnable. Kyo goes down. Smiley once again finding that opening pick with the help of the
Big
squad.
rock.
Drizzle on his back. Won't get taken down. Gravitic Flux though finds Jace. Should get the kill as well potentially. No, not quite. Feels like it should have broke something there the way he landed on that pillar there. But unfortunately for GOATS, it's gonna be the end of this. And Benoni Buccaneers, man, they found something here. Circuit Royale agrees with them a lot more than the previous 2 maps have. It feels like Defect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like Smiley has been doing a good job at just not killing but repelling the Tracer somehow.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Smiley. I'll try to apologize.
I mean, she tanked the ultimate. This is kind of an okay place to lose a team fight.
Yeah. Just after the cap.
Yeah.
We're gonna respawn right here.
Exactly. So, coming to the next fight, we've got that Dragon Strike, which can get pretty good value here inside the casino. And we've got Smiley with the Tactical Visor, Valk as well. Transcendence, though, on the other side, a strong counter to both of the ultimates, DPS ultimates that they've got available here. So, Metro Turrets as well, going to be a bit of a nuisance there. Dragon Strike to start off, and they've baited out the Zen ulti. So, this is an okay team fight for the Benoni Buccaneers. They commit one ulti, yes, but they pull out that Trance, which is so critical. In fact, the Valk committed as well.
Don't like that Valk.
Yeah.
The Valk to get out on a fight you've already lost 2 people. That said, your spawn doors are right there, so it could be.
It's true, but that said, your spawn doors are right there, right? Just die and respawn.
Exactly.
Under pressure, these sim turrets to fix. Sorry.
Oh yeah, and it's so awkward to the tank's the first one through, but trying to shoot sim turrets on a Sigma is just impossible.
Yeah. Seriously awkward to try and get those shots off. They will pop the ulti here, perfectly timed with the expiration of the sim shield here. Pulse bomb finds 2, including the Tactical Visor. So Smiley and a huge anti-heal on point as well to clean up. An excellent display of execution here from the GOATS team to clean up this Benoni Buccaneers push. Really impressive stuff. BJ's fan on the Genji. Why not?
Genji.
But that is going to be it for round 1.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to decrease your win percentage on
yeah, that's
the last fight, the final opportunity.
Just throw some stats in the bin.
Yeah, it's such an awkward place. They've been using the tac visor so well in the previous fights. It's been a very large ult for them, especially with the Mercy boosting it. But that choke is such an awkward place to use it. I mean, they tried to, and I think they got 1 kill on the tank, got caught out. But everyone else just walks away from the choke. Like, the giant cover wall is right there. And they weren't able to push through, especially because of those sim turrets. It just makes it so hard to execute their sort of primary game plan in that choke. And, GOATS were able to read that and hold on that choke right by the spawn door.
Yeah, we said it was probably an okay place to lose a team fight, but after watching that, it feels like a terrible place to get stuck. But you'd think with the spawn advantage, you should be able to just grind a team fight too, but they weren't really playing the kind of composition that wants to grind a team fight. A more brawly style might be able to take advantage of that a bit better.
Absolutely. The DPS, a Hanzo and a Soldier are not going to have the sightlines needed to really play to their strength. I would have loved to see something like a Reaper or a Mei to just push through that door.
Well, no Reaper or Mace still, but BTS fan, he's going to be on the Pharah. We know how dominant this can be, and he's going to be playing it here on the defense, just looking to punch the damage out. But he's playing into Jace's Echo, so not going to be the easiest thing. Paleo immediately being put under pressure here on the front line, a little bit away from his team here. It feels like his shield isn't actually protecting the team on the front line. He's going to rock Trizzle. It's not going to go down just yet. Jace under a lot of pressure, though, won't drop either. So a kind of slow, drawn-out team fight, which you think compositionally favors our defending squad here. At some point, they might find picks. They might be able to put the damage in from a distance. But Paleo isolated once again. They're getting aggressive onto him here. He needs to watch his positioning. He needs to be careful. He's trying to find his way into the doorway here. We'll get through eventually, but he will drop, and so will Annabelle, the Widowmaker from Nyan, finding a critical pick there. And it is going to be an easy team fight cleanup for the GOATs here.
Yeah, and here we can see the value of a Widow, not just in the pick she gets, but in the space she denies. Like, she was just sitting way in the back, and 4 of the 5 team members were behind these little umbrellas in the corner, just tucked away, unable to move forward. And the moment one of them did, Annabelle flew forward to try and save Paleo. She got, taken out by the Widow's kiss, as it were.
Oh, speaking of taken out by the Widow's Kiss, the Sonic Arrow finds purchase there onto Nyan, and that's going to allow them to get position here. Nyan is raised up, so the Widowmaker is still a threat in this team fight, but it does allow them to take position with BTS fan. Tracked down, taken down by Jace's Echo here. The sticky bombs, too hot to handle for the Shimada bro as they try to get set up on the point. Paleo again, kind of totally isolated on point. I guess that's kind of how you play, but if you're going to play that style, it doesn't feel like Sigma is the hero to do that on.
No, I would have minded something a bit more sort of self-sustain, or I love to see a Junker Queen or even a Ramatra trying to execute that.
Yeah, that's true. But again, questions on Paleo's hero pool here. We haven't seen him play a single Overwatch 2 tank so far. Right, it's all been Overwatch 1 tanks. So wouldn't shock me if he's not quite up to speed on the Overwatch 2 tanks, but Smiley, plenty up to speed on the Soldier. Will find the Baby D.Va and the Big D.Va, and now that's going to allow Paleo to get set up on point, but winnable is the call here for GOATS. They pop a couple of ultis here, they pop the Duplicate, they pop the Kitsune Rush on the other side, and that should be enough to secure the fight. Smiley once again gets the better of Nyan. She's been doing a good job on enough occasions of getting it done in a full 5-man team wipe. Perfectly executed on the Benoni Buccaneers, still with 4 ultimates left to use.
Oh yeah, that was a clean 1 ult usage, and this time it wasn't 100% of their ults.
As low a percent as you can get, actually.
Yeah, a lower percent, 20. Absolutely, and fishing expedition.
This looks like could be good. Paleo under pressure will take a bunch of damage, just barely kept alive there by the supports, and now we'll move forward the other side. They're popping a lot of ults now. Kitsune Rush comes through, Dragon Strike the other way, Sights as well. Jace under pressure will get taken down. Gravitic Flux committed as well. So if the first fight was lean, the second fight is very, very expensive here for the Benoni Buccaneers, so they better damn well make sure they win this, and they're not currently winning it. It's a 3v3 on the point here. Very even fight. Paleo on point, looking to get this Mercy. Yami maybe. Don't know where that came from. As gets taken down eventually, but the supports are coming in, or rather the support is coming in here. But Paleo finds a double. Nyan and Yami maybe make it a triple with the kill on to Kyo. So Benoni Buccaneers standing firm here. 3 minutes left to defend.
Yeah, and what a bloodthirsty Kiriko. I saw her teleport forward onto the tank, abandoning her Mercy to Nyan's Mercy. And then just starts left clicking, like starts throwing kunais at people for the entire duration of the fight. But I mean, if it works.
Well, yeah, you can't argue with the results, at least on this occasion. They will be coming in with the ult advantage, just the Valkyrie ready to be used here for Yami maybe, and that is a very critical ultimate here as the pressure starts to build. Trizzle moving forward on the Ramatrik here, switched off the D.Va, feels like he wants to get his punch on here. Will be doing so very effectively, needs to be careful though, dropping low. What is that? Kitsune Rush now popped, so a lot of damage coming through, extra healing as well. They need to find the picks and use this ultimate, and they will do so. Trizzle, the key pick, the Pulse Bomb committed out as well, won't find anything, but there are kills going in both directions. Neither team with a tank to use here, but Smiley finding that pick onto the Echo should get the job done. The Riz as well, a big anti-heal will get rid of the Mercy, but they should have the numbers, they should have the HP, especially now with Paleo back in the mix, and they will do so. Minute 47, Benoni Buccaneers making a game of it.
Yeah, and Apricornic is really using his kunais to sort of ward off the Tracer. I feel there was a lot of like not even dinks, but like hitting 1 or 2 body shots, and then the
Yeah.
Tracer has to disengage. It's been working well enough to keep Nyan from Nyaning.
Yeah. from just kind of having his run of the
Executing an auntie.
Executing exactly from doing an auntie, but Smiley will not need to do an auntie here. She'll pop the tack visor and instead get a hack on here, picking off 2, Jace and Smiley. Smiley will drop though, so there is still something here. There's plenty of ultimates available here with a minute left on the clock. We'll probably see them play a little bit more disciplined here, but they need to be careful on the side of the Benoni Buccaneers.
Oh, absolutely. I would have liked to see maybe a... Oh, here it comes.
Oh god, look away, ladies and gentlemen. Nano boosted annihilation. 1, 2, 3. Easy as you like. It feels so overpowered, Defect. Watching it from an outsider's perspective, it's like, how do you stop this?
I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, even does a trance save you? Like,
probably, if there's no other damage.
Time added to the time bank, but
ooh, Gravitic Flux. They really want to hold here. Trizzle under pressure, taken down. Paleo and the Dragon Strike working together to get that kill done. Yan is still being a nuisance in the back line, and the rest will come out from Yami maybe. So Trizzle back in the fight here. This is the last fight potentially for the Benoni Buccaneers. They need to hold here. They need to stay on point. BDS dropping his critical. Trizzle will find Anna as well, and that might just be the end of it. It's going to take some serious play here from our red squad, but they are getting it done here. They are getting kills, but Smiley going down. The damage are limited. Apricornicus dropping well. Last man standing is Paleo, and he will get punched down by Trizzle. An exclamation point on the end of this series, and G.O.A.T.S will take a dominant 3-0 victory.
Wonderful. A very, very one-sided for 2 of the 3 maps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's watch Trizzle's Q buttons. There's a first-person POV to kill the whole team.
Punch from range. It feels like, what do you even do? You just run away or you die.
Back to the spawn room.
Yeah,
and he gets
one way or another.
Speed buff as well.
And with the damage of a time, it's just like what's a lot going for you at that point if you are a Ramatra player. But at the end of it all, there's going to be G.O.A.T.S looking like the stronger of these 2 teams and taking the 3-0 victory to cement that. Unfortunately for the Benoni Buccaneers, that is the end of their Pride Cup. So we say goodbye to these 5 players, at least as a part of this squad. Of course, we could see them sub in later on potentially. But Defect, G.O.A.T.S just looking too strong. Nyan, Trizzle, even the likes of Yami and Jace, all performing up to standard.
Oh, absolutely. They've kind of polished up this this sort of budget room auntie, and and the rest of the team is also like sort of fallen into this this rhythm, and they're just looking very good. They're looking much sharper than yesterday. I feel like perhaps their weakness would be getting a tank that is at the tippity top of the skill bell curve, or rather the right side of the bell curve in this case. Where your Trizzle needs more resources to execute these maneuvers, which is what we saw yesterday morning. It didn't work out well for them. But in this case, he just steamrolled them. Especially that Ramatra ult was just impossible to deal with.
And his diva can be very overwhelming as well on the front line.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to think who we have left in the tournament. Now, they go up against 3 Men 2 Socks next, I believe, right? A team they've already lost to, so there's every chance that they could lose to them again, obviously. But beyond that, I don't know that there is a tank in this tournament better than Trizzle. Because Trizzle's already beaten Blur, which is what I would think is one of the best tanks.
True. I mean, Blur's a bit washed, but sometimes you're washed enough, you become clean.
Fair. Yeah, well, true. And he watching him play, he still is always standing out on his team. So at the very least, he's a shining beacon on the team he's on. But that is going to be it. Before we go, Defect, you know what we've got to do. Who is your main man here, man of the match?
It has to be Nyan, right?
Yeah.
He's just setting the pace for all of these fights, whether it be the entries or the cleanups. He dominates what compositions and what roles and what actions the other team is taking with like peeling of the tracer is such a high priority because he will just get in your backline and pulse bomb 3 people. Yeah, no, absolutely, Neon. Stellar performance. I hope he unretires soon because a tracer like him is getting Overwatch.
Yeah, it's true actually, and Trizzle already operating on a high level team, so Trizzle alongside Neon as DPS duo, that could be terrifying. But I completely agree with you. Neon has just looked totally untouchable in this game. I will say though, obviously the usual suspects perform very well. Trizzle especially standing out. On the other side though, I think Smiley really impressed me as she has been doing throughout the tournament on the DPS. I thought her soldier did a very good job of dealing with Neon a lot of the time, and she was frequently the one finding that opening kill, at least the last hit on a hero to give the Benoni Buccaneers an advantage going into a team fight. So very impressed by her, as I've been by many of the support players kind of moving over to DPS. We spoke about Tox yesterday being very impressive. So it is going to be exciting to see what else happens here. But that is going to be it, guys. Before we go to Defect, any last words here? Your last Pride Cup cast.
Wow, I mean, I'll be back next year, guys. It's not terminal, but yeah, it's lost for me for this weekend and for this year. I'll see you guys next year, and hopefully sooner than that on the casting again.
Yeah, hopefully. It's been a pleasure having you here. But that is going to be it, guys. Goats take the 3-0 against the Benoni Buccaneers to secure their place in the lower bracket final against 3 Men 2 Socks, a rematch from our upper bracket round 1 from yesterday. So it promises to be very exciting. That is going to be at 2 o'clock, I believe, so in 3-ish hours. So plenty of time for you to have breakfast, shower, do all the things you need to do before we get ready for our lower bracket final. But if you want to keep up with everything happening in South African Overwatch, you can do that here on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ZA Overwatch, on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/channel/@ZA Overwatch, and of course on Twitter if you want to see all the tournaments happening in the future and everything like that is at ZA Overwatch as well. If you want to get involved with tournaments, anything like that, Lightbot I'm sure is posting the Discord link in the server. That's where the home of COWZA is. If you'd want to play in the Pride Cup, cast the Pride Cup, or play or find a team, or just find some people to play with, that's the place to do it for all things South African Overwatch. But my name has been Sun Phoenix, his name has been Defect, and we'll see you again at 2 o'clock for the lower bracket final.